A newlywed couple entered the Grand Canyon for their honeymoon and vanished without a trace. Christmas morning, 1928. The Grand Canyon, Arizona. When brothers Emery and Ellsworth Kolb heard that an abandoned boat had been spotted on the Colorado River, they decided to take a closer look. The vessel was gently rocking on the water, carefully tied to a branch sticking out from the river bank. Inside, everything was in order: clothes, equipment, food supplies, even a journal. Nothing appeared stolen, nothing seemed damaged, but the owners were nowhere to be found. Emery recognized the boat immediately. It was called Rain in the Face, built just weeks earlier by a young adventurer named Glenn Hyde. Glenn and his wife Bessie Hyde had set off on a honeymoon journey through the Grand Canyon, a bold dream, a dangerous route, a love story that would soon become one of the greatest mysteries in the canyon's history. Glenn Hyde was 28 years old, a farmer from Idaho, strong, optimistic, and deeply fascinated by rivers and exploration. He had spent years traveling across North America, navigating waterways, building boats, and chasing adventure. Bessie Louise Haley was different. She was educated, artistic, and carried herself with quiet confidence. She'd studied art in San Francisco and came from a more urban, refined background. When they met, their lives changed almost instantly. It was February 1927. A passenger ship traveling from San Francisco to Los Angeles. Somewhere between the coastline and the open ocean, they struck up a conversation. By the end of the trip, something powerful had formed between them. Their relationship moved quickly. Bessie had recently left a difficult marriage. The divorce process was complicated and emotionally exhausting. Glenn, on the other hand, offered warmth, freedom, and a completely different future. Within months, they made a bold decision. They traveled to Nevada, finalized her divorce, and married soon after. April 10th, 1928. Husband and wife, but for Glenn, marriage was only the beginning of a larger dream. Instead of a traditional honeymoon, Glenn proposed something extraordinary. They would travel the Colorado River from Green River, Utah, all the way to Needles, California, through one of the most dangerous and unpredictable landscapes in North America. Glenn wanted to set a record, and Bessie would become the first woman to complete the full route. They hoped the journey would bring recognition and perhaps help publish Bessie's personal travel journal. In 1928, the Colorado River was very different from what we know today. There were no major dams controlling the water, no guided tours, no safety infrastructure. The river was wild, powerful currents, sudden rapids, unpredictable weather. This was exploration in its purest form. Glenn built a special wooden sweep scow, wide flat, designed for long river travel. He named it Rain in the Face after a Native American warrior, and on October 20th, 1928, the journey began. The first sections of the trip went smoothly. They passed through Labyrinth Canyon, Stillwater Canyon, and Cataract Canyon. They were making good time. Bessie kept detailed notes in her journal, writing about the landscapes, the quiet nights, and the emotional intensity of the journey. Despite the challenges, there was excitement. They were doing something few had ever attempted. Together. As they moved deeper into the canyon system, the river grew more demanding. The currents were stronger, the terrain more isolated. At one stop near Bright Angel Creek, they met Emery Kolb, one of the most experienced river explorers of the time. He admired their determination, but he was concerned. He offered them life jackets. Glenn declined. According to later accounts, Bessie appeared uncertain. She had moments of doubt about continuing the trip, but eventually they moved forward. Soon after, they encountered another traveler, Adolf Sutro. He joined them briefly, traveling alongside the Hydes for several miles before leaving at Hermit Trail. He would later become the last confirmed person to see them alive. After that, the river took them. They were expected to reach Needles, California by November 9th. They never did. Days passed, then weeks. Concern grew. Glenn's father organized a search effort, hiring trackers, boatmen, and even arranging an aerial search, something extremely rare at the time. Then in December, the boat was found, intact, supplies untouched, journal still inside. But Glenn and Bessie were gone. There were no clear signs of struggle, no evidence of theft, no visible damage to the boat. The most likely explanation was an accident. A difficult section of rapids, loss of balance, cold water, strong current. Without modern safety gear, survival would have been incredibly difficult. But one detail remained deeply unsettling. Their bodies were never found. As decades passed, the mystery only deepened. In the 1970s, during a rafting trip, an elderly woman reportedly claimed she was Bessie Hyde. She later retracted the statement, saying it was a story she invented. Still, the rumors spread. People began to wonder, could one of them have survived? In 1976, after Emery Kolb passed away, a skeleton was discovered among his stored belongings. At first, speculation grew. Could it be Glenn Hyde? But forensic analysis decades later confirmed it was not connected to the case. Another moment came in the 1990s when items linked to the Hydes appeared among the possessions of a Grand Canyon guide. Again, the theory faded after documentation showed no direct connection. Mystery remained. Nearly a century has passed. No confirmed answers. No final evidence, no closure, only questions. Were they victims of the river? Did panic lead to a tragic accident? Or did one of them survive and choose to disappear? The Colorado River keeps its secrets, and the story of Glenn and Bessie Hyde remains one of the most haunting and enduring mysteries of the Grand Canyon. A story about ambition, about love, about risk, and about how sometimes the wild refuses to give back its truth. What do you think happened to Glenn and Bessie Hyde? Was it a tragic accident or something more complex? Share your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoy true historical mysteries and real survival stories, subscribe for more. There are many stories like this waiting to be told.